The language you use about yourself when you're by yourself is what will make or break your self-esteem. When we talk to other people, when we post on Instagram, when we share our lives, we always want it to look good and be amazing and be so positive, right? Most people's Instagram stories are just all of these amazing highlights and how beautiful my perfect life is. And then you go home when you're by yourself and you look at yourself in the mirror and people, cry themselves to sleep. What's the message when you talk to yourself? What's the message when you're alone? What are you saying about yourself? When you can start to fix that self-talk, that inner dialogue, that starts to shift everything inside you to then create amazing things outside you. I remember when I first got started making YouTube videos, my self-talk was in conflict because I had my parents who I remember the voice, there's a picture of my parents behind me on my wall in my office. And when people ask me what's my favorite quote of all time, it's what my parents used to tell me, that I'm Evan Carmichael. I could do anything that I believe that I can. And that is a constant reminder that I still today, at 41, still use, still tell myself, still remind myself of, like, I am Evan Carmichael. I can do anything that I believe that I can. And it's helpful and valuable, and what a gift. So grateful for my parents for that. When I was getting started on YouTube, though, the other voice that was in my head was, you're introverted, you're shy, you suck on camera, anybody who makes videos has a big ego, just needs to be famous. And so I really struggled with that because I had competing voices in my head. It wasn't even what other people were telling me to do. It was me, myself, when I'm by myself, thinking about myself. That constant inner struggle with the voices in my head left me struggling, left me making super slow progress, left me started and stopping and started and stopping. If you look at my videos, I started and then I took big breaks, and then I started again, then I took more big breaks. And it wasn't until I solved that inner conflict that I started to get more results, and I started to be more productive, and I started to stopping. I started to stop stopping. I stopped procrastinating. I just did it because I wasn't so caught up in my head and the discussion and the inner dialogue and the voices. And I just replaced it with better thinking about myself, better messages to myself. I think when you can do that, your life starts to change, because it's not other people's opinions that really shape us. It's other people's opinions that then influence our own self-talk, that's what shape us. And so when you shift that, everything starts to change. So how do you do it? How do you actually start to shift your self-talk forward? How do you see yourself in a more loving way? Let me give you some practical tips for what to do. You can start today. One is to start to change your environment. So the more you're around people who are loving, caring, ambitious, living the life that you want, doing the things that you want, having the relationships that you want, having the business that you want, are not sitting there stuck and complaining. That's complaining and blaming together. It's complaining. People aren't stuck in that mode. The more they pull you forward, the more it forces a more positive self-reflection. So if you're around Elon Musk and Oprah Winfrey and Marissa Peer and Tony Robbins and hopefully Evan Carmichael, the more you're around these people, the more you will start to think like them. The more the way they see the world will start to influence the way you start to see the world. And it forces that self-reflection, because the easiest way to change your viewpoint on something is to change your environment. The fastest way to learn Japanese is to go to Japan, because you're around it constantly. So if you want to be more loving, be around people who are more loving. You want more self-confidence for yourself, be around people who are more self-confident. Nina's back!
Hello.
We love you, Nina!
Oh, sorry. It took a little bit long time.
That's okay. We've been filming. We've been making content. So step number one is just to change the environment. Step number two is figure out your who. Your who is your single most important core value. I wrote 2 books talking about it, Your One Word and Built to Serve. I believe that everybody has a single most important core value. And when you figure out what that is, it gives you a roadmap for the rest of your life. So You can pick up either book to figure it out, or just ask yourself, what is my single most important core value? You have to pick right now. What was your single most important core value? More important than all the others, not your list of 13 core values. One, what is it? For me, it's belief. So everything I try to do is about belief. The videos I make, this video, the goal, the hope, the inspiration is to try to make you believe in yourself more. Maybe I accomplish that, maybe I don't, but it's always the intention going in. So when you figure out yours, whether it's belong or freedom or inspiration or motivation or happiness or care or love or believe or whatever it is, when you figure out what that is, one, it gives you good perspective on why you haven't been happy. Anytime I'm not happy, it's because there's a lack of belief in my life, either belief in myself and what I'm capable of, or I'm not spreading enough belief to others. Same thing for you. You figure out your who. Whenever you're not happy, it's because there's a lack of that in your life right now. And so if you want to hit the next step, it's by breaking through another barrier of your who. My next level of greatness is on the other side of even more belief in myself. I still lack belief in myself to get to the next step. And same thing for you. And so figuring out your most important core value gives you the area to work on. You know what you need more of in your life, and gives you a roadmap of how to actually get there. And then step number 3 is figure out what your trigger words are. What are your trigger words? What are the things that you say to yourself that keep you small, that keep you scared, that keep you safe, that keep you from living your dreams? What are the trigger words that you use? So for me, it's scary, difficult, and hard. Whenever I say scary, difficult, or hard, those are the things that have become my trigger words, and now I have to go do the things. Because I said them, because I wrote them, I texted them, I said them, I thought them, right? When you figure out what your trigger words are, then whenever you say them, it's an indication of here I am again playing small. Here I am again telling myself that I can't do it. Here I am again accepting these reasons that I no longer want to accept. Being afraid is a classic one for a lot of people. Well, I didn't do it because I was afraid. And you've accepted the fact that you're afraid as being a good enough reason for you not to do the thing that you want to do. And I would like to challenge that and say that's no longer a good enough reason. Nope, not anymore. Not for you, not for what you're capable of, not for where you want to go, not for the impact that you can have. Nope, not a good enough reason anymore. Let's go. So if you just sit and think about what are the trigger words that you say, what's the language that you use that keeps you small, scared, protected, that you no longer want to be good enough reasons, that you want to be free of, rid of, and that we're taking from our subconscious mind automatic patterns into our conscious, into no, I am going to make a change in my life. I no longer want to be this person. I need to evolve and grow and get better and be better because I'm capable, right? You. So when you figure out your trigger words and try to come up with them, it's a good exercise to do right now. What are the words that you tell yourself when you're scared, when you're afraid, when you've got big ideas, and you talk yourself down from it? What's the language you use? You can start by just taking on mine, scary, difficult, hard, or you can come up with your own. But the idea becomes anytime you see yourself using that language, it triggers you to then make a shift. To say, oh, okay, because I said that, because I said scary, difficult, or hard, now I'm going to do it. Just because I'm the kind of person who does scary, who does difficult, who loves hard. And when you can take those words that have previously disempowered you and flip them so that they become empowering for you, that's how you start to shift your identity forward. At the end of the day, the thing that matters is how you feel about yourself when you're by yourself. The language you use to talk about yourself, the messaging you have to yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror, when you're going to sleep, when there's nobody else around you. Because when you can build that self-belief, when you can build that self-love, when you can build that self-confidence, that self-esteem, that becomes the rocket fuel for you to build the great life for you, your family, the people around you, and create the impact that you know you're capable of having.
If you want another Evan rant video that just might give you the confidence you need, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. People are remarkably bad at remembering long lists of goals. Clarity comes with simplicity. Brendan Burchard from page 159 of Built to Serve. I think this is the case for most entrepreneurs.